Big flag there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start. We're going to stand nice and tall, hands over the lower abdomen. Let the crown of the head gently rise. Relax the shoulders. And think of the shoulders kind of almost like moving out to the sides. Not pulled back necessarily, but just broad. That's a little bit of a better position for our posture. Slowing the breath down. Do a few long exhalations. So you exhale as long as you can. Then gently inhale. And as you inhale, think of expanding the stomach, expanding the lower abdomen into the hands. This is just working those inner core muscles, which help give us stability, especially for the back and hips, while also bringing in more oxygen. Just take this time also to be mindful of your posture, how everything's feeling, if there's any tension anywhere. And just try to stand in as good of a posture as you can. All right, let's take a nice breath in. Slowly exhale. Good, all right. Let's start with these shoulders, opening up our posture, so rolling the shoulders back. All right, we're going to tuck in the elbows, raise them up gently, and gently rotate back, just to wherever's a comfortable range for you. All right, we're going to bring the elbows and hands together. And open, close. All right, and then relax, roll the shoulders back. Very nice. Let's get the neck. We're going to look down. Gently back up. Look over one shoulder as far as you can. Across, look over the other shoulder. Back to the middle. Gently tilt the head to the side. Middle, and tilt to the other side. Middle. And let's repeat, looking down. Slowly back up, tuck the chin back. Look over one shoulder. Across, look over the other. Back to the middle, and gently tilt the head to the side. Middle, and tilt to the other side. Middle. All right, let go of any tension in the neck. Very light head circle. And reverse directions. Relax. Again, just gently roll the shoulders back. Very good. All right, next we're going to just kind of round the back. So just rounding forward, turning the hands inward, and then turn the hands outward and extend back. So we're not going super far, just kind of more of the upper back and rounding, and then extending, opening up, rounding gently, and extending. One more time, round, and extend. Very good. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the hands over the lower back, and we're going to gently lean back, bring the hips forward. Inhale up, and lean back. Inhale up. Once more. Inhale. Gently roll the shoulders back, shake it all out. Very good. All right, let's do a couple side bends. Lean over, inhale up, switch sides, over, back up, again, and once more. Very good. Roll the shoulders back. Very nice. All right, let's widen our stance. And we're gonna go side to side, just gently stretching those inner hip muscles. Good, and then we're going to split our stance, kind of a big split, so bring your leg out pretty wide, shift forward and back, and you can get a little bit of a rotation, turning the hips toward the front leg and away. Turn in, out. Be mindful, I would recommend for all these, be close to your chair, in case you lose your balance, you can easily, regain it. Okay, switching legs. And again, I would stand either to the side or slightly behind your chair. Just make sure it's within reach. All right, and let's go forward, back. Just nice weight shifting. Okay, and relax. Very good. All right, and then let's do a nice hinge. Yep. Keeping the back straight as you hinge. Back up. And you can think as you come up, squeeze the glutes up, and then relax while you hinge forward. Squeeze the glutes, relax. One more. And relax. Okay, good. Finally, let's get the ankles. We're going to lift the toes, alternating. And then the heels. Right, and then let's try a little bit more challenging version. We're going to turn the hips to one foot and lift the toes of that foot. And then on the other foot, lift the heel. All right, and then switch. So when you turn, you're lifting the toes, lifting the heel, toes and heel. Find the balance between your feet. All right, nicely done. Relax. Okay, and then let's take a nice breath in. And exhale. All right, let's sit down in our chair. Give our back and everything a little rest. Work on the hips a little bit. So we're going to work just on pelvic rocking. So find the top of the pelvis, the pelvic bone, which is kind of the hard bone on the sides here. And we're going to try to keep your head up straight as we round the back a little bit as we tilt the pelvis backward and then tilt the pelvis forward, kind of arching the back a little. So slight rounding the back as the pelvis tilts backward, tilts forward, back, forward, keeping the head more or less upright in a similar space. Just isolating that motion of the pelvis, rocking. All right, very good. freeze. Now we're going to do a hinge motion. So the pelvis is still going to be moving, but rather than rounding the back and to keep the head up, right, we're going to let the head go with the pelvis. So let the whole spine move with the pelvis. So we rock forward and rock backward. Still noticing the pelvis is what is rocking you. So it may not be a very large space of motion, but especially seated, there's a pretty limited range as to how far forward you can go with the pelvis tilting. Okay, and back to normal. Very good. Okay, now we're going to go side to side. So side pelvic tilts. We're going to, for the beginning, kind of keep the head upright. So kind of almost like squish the side, other side. Shifting the weight away from the side you're lifting. Still try to keep the head upright. All right, and then we're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to kind of let the body tilt as we tilt pelvis. Tilt. Now this is largely through the hip. Okay, and relax. Very good. And then finally, last one, we're going to put them all together. So let's start. Keep the head upright and just move the pelvis in a little circle. Come around. All right, and reverse directions. Okay, very good. And then put it all together. This time, instead of keeping the head stable, we're going to let the spine move with the pelvis. We're going to tilt forward, side, backward, side, forward. Just go nice and slow. But again, keep the focus on the pelvis, being the main mover. Just letting the spine kind of go for the ride. And reverse directions. So very minimal, for this one, very minimal motion at the spine. The back should be pretty stable, just moving from the base, the pelvis. And relax, come back to the middle, shake it out if you need to, keep everything nice and relaxed. All right, and we're ready for our strengthening exercises. So we're gonna start with our sit to stand. Since we're already in the right position, we're gonna widen our feet. Try to keep your feet about shoulder width apart, maybe even a little wider. Keep the knees right over your feet. Kind of pull the feet back a little bit. So the knees are centered kind of right here. They're not passing the toes necessarily, but they are, maybe right up toward the toes or just behind. All right. Feel free to use your hands for extra support, especially if you have any pains in the knee when you stand up. Use your hands for support. Otherwise, you can just bring the hands out in front of you to help you counterbalance. Okay, we're going to be using which two muscles, or which two muscle groups, I should say? Glutes. The glutes, yep. And we also want to tighten the core, yeah. So tighten those stomach muscles. Make sure we're breathing here too. Exhale as we stand up. Tighten the glutes. Push through the feet. Ready, and go. Tall and down with good control. Feel free to use your hands whenever you need to. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On 10, we're going to keep standing. 10. All right, and move to the side of your chair or slightly behind your chair. Get our hip flexion. All right, stay nice and tall. We're going to do a slight different hip flexion. We've done, I think we did this last time too. We're going to keep the leg nice and straight, hang on to the chair, and we're going to flex the hip up like this, toes pointed up, leg straight. and then back. Nice, with good control. Try not to lean back as you do this. Try to still stay nice and tall, getting those hip flexors. If that feels like too much pressure, or if you start to feel back tension with this, then you can go back to just the normal knee lift, which is another version of hip flexion. But the straight leg is kind of a more challenging version. That's 1, 2, do with nice control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax, shake it out. Let's go to the other leg. Ready, and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and very good. Shake out the hips. All right, switching legs again. Side leg lift. So the leg that we're going to be lifting, kind of turn those toes in a little bit. And you should be feeling it in the upper hip when you lift this leg. Lead with the heel. All right, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay nice and tall, looking forward. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and very good. Other leg. Turning the toes in, leading with the heel. Go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake out the hips. Very good. One more for the hips. We're doing hip extension. So reaching back with the hip in this one specifically is going to target the glute muscle. So staying tall and leading with the heel. Backward. 1. Staying tall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Other leg. Ready. Going backward and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and shake out the hips. Very good. And last but not least, the ankle or heel raise. So stay nice and tall. We're gonna do a slightly more challenging version of this. Now, if you can't do, so we're gonna do a single foot heel raise. Now, if that's too challenging, feel free to do the double, which is what we normally do. But we'll do 2 sets because those of you that can do the single leg, we're gonna do 10 on each leg. So feel free to do 2 sets of the double if you can't do the single. Get ready and go. 1, 2, standing on one leg, lifting the heel. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and very good. Other leg. Leg and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you lack balance like I do on this leg, then feel free to just hang on to the chair. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good job. Shake it all out. If you need to take a quick breather, feel free to sit down for a moment. Hey, keep everything nice and loose, relaxed. How were those single leg lifts? Okay, the little tough. They're tough, right? All your body weight, you have to lift on one foot, but that'll really strengthen those ankles, which, as we've talked about in this class, that's the first line of defense when it comes to balance. Good ankle mobility and strength. All right, so let's go ahead and stand back up, and we're going to work on let's work on some dynamic balance. So we're going to work on our tandem walk next. So if you're walking, toward me, maybe just turn your chair so you have the back of the chair to use as kind of a rail, or just position yourself so you have some length of something to hang on to. So we're going to do tandem walk. So heel to toe walking, like we're walking on a tightrope. Now, once you got a feeling of where you need to place your feet, try not to look down, try to look up. And make sure you stay close to the chair, just so if this one's very easy to lose your balance. So you do want to make sure you have something close by for balance. Looking straight ahead, staying tall. One more, forward and backward. Right. And then we're going to freeze for a moment, just maybe with the right leg forward, and hold this tandem position near your chair. Going to hold for 30 seconds. Now try to see if you can give yourself some time of not hanging on. If you're able to do the whole 30 seconds not hanging on, great. If not, that's okay. Just try to give yourself some space of not hanging on. And really utilizing your eyes to help with your balance. Find a stationary target. Very good, and relax. Switching legs. The leg in front, and again, find your target. Try to keep your balance, minimizing how much you hold on to the chair. And relax. Very good. All right, shake it out. Okay, we're gonna wrap up with some stretches. So let's start with a nice ankle calf stretch. So bring your foot back, shift the weight forward, pressing that back heel into the ground. Make sure that the back foot is pointing forward. Much everyone's doing a good job with. Good stretch in your calf. Standing tall. And relax. Switching legs. Pressing the heel into the ground. Focus on that back leg. and relax. Very good. Now we're going to do kind of an opposite motion. So this we're going to try to stretch the calf while the knee is bent. So we're going to focus on the front knee. Stand away from your chair, maybe a foot or a foot and a half, and you're going to just use the chair for support. You're going to make sure the foot's pointing straight ahead, and you're going to let the knee come forward in a straight line. Don't let it deviate inward, and bring that knee toward the chair or as far as you can toward the chair. If you run into the chair right away, then back up a little bit. Be careful, this is kind of an awkward position. But it's a really good one for the soleus stretch, the muscle that goes just at your ankle. And go ahead and relax. It's very practical for standing up from like a lower chair. It'll help you with standing from a seated position. All right, so other leg now. So again, we're focusing on that front knee. So the back leg, feel free to lift the heel if you want. We're bringing that front knee as far forward as it will go, keeping that front foot flat on the ground, getting that stretch. The front leg. It's a very different feeling of stretch, but it is a stretch nonetheless, and very important for standing up. All right, and we'll sit down in our chair. A few more. And we're gonna do a nice knee hug, which is good for helping any lower back muscles kind of relax. Hugging one knee up toward the chest. If the knee isn't happy, you can always come underneath the knee, like so, to give it a little more space. And still focus on those hip muscles that will relieve the lower back if they are kind of compensating for weak hips. All right, relax, switching legs. So this variation, again, you can hug in front of the leg as well, whatever's more comfortable for you. And as you're hugging the knee, it's always a good practice to kind of think about breathing into the leg. So as you inhale, you want to think of like pushing the stomach almost against the leg. Feel some of that pressure in the hip. All right, relax. The breath, especially that low breathing, can help just any tight muscles just relax when you do that. Let's bring the legs out wide. We'll lean forward gently, push the knees out. Slowly back up. Good. And then let's get our hamstrings. We're going to do an active hamstring stretch. So sit back in the chair, support your back, straighten one leg and lift up as high as you can. Breathing low. Don't hold your breath. Relax, other leg, lifting up. Relax. When you do this, we're going to do it one more time. It kind of helps with the leg that's not being lifted to press that foot into the ground. So one foot's pressing down, the other foot lifting up. Down, other leg. And relax. Very good. And just a few upper body stretches, sitting up nice and tall. Let's do an overhead back stretch. Push the elbow up. Relax, switching arms. Reach over, gently push the elbow up. Relax, bring your hands gently behind the head, tuck the head back, open the elbows wide. Good. Bring your hands out in front of you. Open back, palms up. And then hands together, hand down, get a nice stretch in the wrist. Wind, shake it out, and close. Take a nice breath in. Slowly out. And again.